this is moving toward Bonifay. If you're in the Bonifay area, you need to get in your shelter now. That's the lowest level of your home, most interior room. Typically a bathroom or a closet. Take with you Storm Track 13 app on your phone. Make sure you turn the TV up, the volume up, so you can continue to stay in shelter until this does pass. But we've got a tornado imminently developing or already developed right there off of Knightford, Kinesville as well. That goes until 4:30 a.m. around Lake. You're included in that, but I think this is going to be just off to your north. A rotation significant. Certainly could have seen a tornado on the ground earlier. I'm going to zoom back in here and highlight some of these roads. That looks like a tornado. Gilbert's Mill Road, I think we've got a tornado on the ground. I'm going to go back over to CC. Yep, tornado on the ground. This is definitely confirmed now. Tornado on the ground. That is debris being picked up. That is our correlation coefficient. So right there over Gilbert's Mill Road. This is moving toward Alford, Park Road, Cypress Creeks, Archie Sapp Road. If you live on Gilbert's Mill Road, if you live in Kents Mill, you got to be in your shelter. This is no longer an if. That is a tornado on the ground. Gilbert's Mill Road moving toward Alford, moving toward Kinesville. You have to be in your shelter now. Cypress Creek Road, Park Road, you got to be in your shelter. This boundary and that high pressure system really playing a main role in the forecast, as well as that high pressure system behind me, because that's what's steering it at the moment. That's what's pulling it more off to the north. And today the trend has been north-northwest, and that is key. Instead of northwest, it's been going north-northwest, which is why we have seen that eastward shift, because it's more likely that this cold front is going to collect that system, because we have seen it further off to the east than off to the west. And tonight, watching to see if it moves over the western tip of Cuba or further off to the east. That is influential, because again, we're talking about very marginal aspects here on whether it gets collected by the trough or not collected by the trough. So we're still seeing those kinds of potential impacts here. It is now a Category 2 hurricane. It's pretty well defined at this point in time. It sucked in a little bit of dry air this morning that kept it from rapidly strengthening all day today, but we are starting to see a much tighter model consensus, and you'll note that type grouping. Anytime we're showing spaghetti models like this, you don't ever want to look at one individual line, because one model is never good. All the models are bad, in fact, but they can be useful. And when we're talking about models seeing the same thing, that brings confidence back to the forecast for that area. So this is now centering in anywhere between the GFS and the Euro, but a tight grouping there just to the north of Tampa. An active couple of days with wildfires in the area. Now overnight tonight, our humidity is way up. We've got our dew points back up into the 60s. Temperatures will fall down to the 60s. That's going to lead to foggy conditions, as well as smoke. If you live to the north or north and east of those fires, you've smelled smoke all the way up into even Jackson County today. Even southwest Georgia reporting smoke in the area from our fire here in Bay and Calhoun and Gulf counties. So that mixed with fog is going to lead to poor air quality. The best thing to do is to stay indoors if you are experiencing that smoke. And for fog, poor visibility as we go through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Make sure you are aware of that. A chance of a shower or storm tomorrow, but only a 30%. I'm not expecting a ton of rain for our Tuesday. Better rain chances on the way as we get into Wednesday. 75 to 81, a shower or storm. Definitely humid, even more so than it was today. The winds are going to be variable. They'll start out of the south, they'll shift to the southwest, and then back to out of the southeast as we start to see air mass come back up. Now the BERTHA fire, as just explained, expanding on a couple of different fronts here. Today, the wind aloft was out of the south and west. The wind at the surface was out of the due south, as you note right here. So that has pushed the fire north, and the smoke has been all to the north and west of the fire. The Broad Branch community has actually been given a voluntary evacuation for that area at this time, thanks to smoke and that fire that has moved slightly off to the east. Zooming in here, evacuation areas still remain the same. County Road 106 up to Scotts Ferry, everything off to the east up to 31 to the Calhoun County line. That has been the evacuations. But again, the smoke today has been very, very noticeable, not just right on the fire, but even further out, all the way up into southwest Georgia. There has been smoke reported from that fire. So thankfully, we are seeing rain. We got a frontal boundary that is coming in our direction. Main impact of the weather over the last couple of days, really all this week, has been rain. Temperatures haven't been that big big of an issue. We're sitting in the 70s and 80s now, but we do have plenty of rain still out there. And as we go through the rest of this evening, we're going to see a lot of that activity diminish. But overnight tonight, we could see those showers and thunderstorms once again popping up along our coastal areas, holding on to that 50% chance at rain, 76 to 73 for those overnight lows. And for the day tomorrow, we'll climb back up into the mid 80s. Unfortunately, another day where we're talking about an 80% chance of rain across the board, and flash flooding once again a big concern. The reason for the flash flooding is because these showers and thunderstorms are extremely proficient at producing heavy rainfall because there's moisture at the low levels, the mid levels, and the upper levels. It's all thanks to the extra support that is in place, so the shower and thunderstorm activity staying in place. However, as we head into the weekend and beyond, we're going to kick this out. High pressure starts to build over the Gulf of Mexico, and we'll just see onshore flow for much of next week, which means we lose the moisture in the mid and upper levels, but we keep it at the surface. That's much closer to what we usually see during the summer. If you're further off, and now it's confirmed tornado. So what we were just highlighting with the CC, now highlighting, showing confirmed tornado just on the south side of Bonifay. I'm going to draw that back in here. So right here, we now have a confirmed tornado just to the south of Bonifay. This is moving off to the east. So right there, confirmed tornado. So all of those locations, you got to already be in your shelter. Further off to the east, this is 90 going toward Whitley. It's possible that this makes more of a turn off to the north as it gets pulled into the storm. So we got Hurricane Ian, major hurricane. It is a very pretty storm, and anytime we are talking about an asymmetrical, pretty looking storm, it's a bad thing because that means it is a strong, non-tilted storm. We want hurricanes to look ugly, ugly, ugly. There is some good news here, though, is that we are starting to see some dry air effects. You can see the cloud cover kind of disappearing on the west side. That's subsidence, that's dry air. So dry air is starting to sneak into the western side. There's certainly hope that dry air kind of cuts into the mid-level and gets ingested into the core. That would keep this from strengthening a whole bunch further, but we certainly do have the possibility of more strengthening. In fact, the forecast is for that to continue to happen as it should go from a Category 3 up to a Category 4, making landfall some point in time through the day tomorrow between Fort Myers and up to Tampa, possibly even shifting a little further off to the south. It might be a little further to the south of Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. Then going across the state very slowly, and that is going to have big rain implications, but notice just how far to the east it is now of the Panhandle, which means our rainfall totals, they're going to be very, very low. In fact, this is showing the rainfall forecast through Thursday, through Friday, and oh, here comes a little bit of rain. This is producing very gusty winds even as we're speaking. So what we got, 70 miles per hour, we could be seeing this coming down to the surface as well. Our rotational gate-to-gate coming in around 80 miles per hour, so not as impressive as it once was, but certainly still seeing rotation here. This is strong enough that we could be talking about a tornado back over the open water here, back just off to the south of St. Andrews. Again, this is where Gulf Coast State College is. We could be talking about a waterspout back over the open water just now on the north side of Grand Lagoon and Magnolia Beach. That's where we do have the rotation. So this is Craig Road, and this is, of course, the Hathaway Bridge. And then we've got Collegiate Drive at where Gulf Coast is, as well as going back up into Pretty Bayou, St. Andrews, West Street, that's 17th Street, back down to 12th Street and Beach Drive. You too should be in your shelter as this storm is continuing off to the north and east. So tornado warning again continues until 6:30. This does include Lynn Haven as well, Diego Park, Highland Park, back up 231. It's not including Bayou George. Panama City, you are under that tornado warning, but I would expect that this moves off to the north and east. So this should move to the north of downtown, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get into your shelter or be ready to get into your shelter if this does take more of an easterly jog, as there is a potential waterspout once again, now back over St. Andrews Bay, getting ready to move into the St. Andrews area as we speak. So if you're in the St. Andrews area, you should be in your shelter right now. That's the lowest level of your home, most interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Single red flags flying in all locations today. We'll likely carry that in tomorrow as we're going to have the wind continue into the overnight hours, but the wind will relax through the day tomorrow, and plus just a scattered chance at showers and storms. I would say if you got plans to go to the beach, keep them. Just be cautious if you are planning on getting into the water. Take a flotation device with you. Stay in front of the first sandbar if at all possible. Highest rip current risk is going to come from Franklin County west into PCB back over to Okaloosa County, where we will have more of an onshore flow. But notice the wind direction, those wind vectors a little harder to see across the water there because our wind will be much lighter by tomorrow afternoon. Still going to have the sea breeze, just not going to be as breezy as it was today. And both
humidity always creeps, doesn't it, Ross?
It creeps, yes.
Back,
that's the only way to describe it.
It's not the only thing that creeps around here, I can tell you that. Thanks, Ross.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are out there in place. The sea breeze, really the catalyst, and tropical moisture that is left behind and still in place is going to stay there over the next couple of days. We do have those showers and storms working basically on an outflow boundary now. They were initialized by the sea breeze, but you'll notice actually working from east to west, and that is along that outflow boundary that is progressing in that direction, and that should continue. It is pretty isolated with exception along I-10 and further off to the north where we do have a better cluster of showers and storms. So north of Liberty County, northern Calhoun, Jackson going into Washington and Holmes. That's where the best chance of rain, but some spotty activity through southern Calhoun and even into Bay County here along 231. So we could continue that as we go through the rest of this evening. Better chances of rain do arrive as we go through the day tomorrow. We're going to keep the wind out of the south and east, and it's going to be stronger, but notice a much greater coverage of showers and thunderstorms for our Wednesday, and most modeling is even overdoing this. So this is undercasting once again as far as the forecast goes on our futurecast, but I do believe we're going to see widespread showers and thunderstorms for our Wednesday, and then again on Thursday as that frontal boundary gets a little bit closer to us. Now on Thursday, there's the possibility with enough wind energy out of the south, we could have an isolated severe storm or so, maybe a greater risk than what we had today and what we'll see tomorrow, even though the overall risk from the SPC is the same on all 3 days. I think that we may see a greater risk for that on Thursday. Friday, cold front comes through early in the morning, so we'll hold on to the rain chances in the morning hours, but I think by the afternoon we'll be clearing things out. 80 in Blountstown, 83 in Apalachicola, we got 78 in Marietta, rain cooled, 83 in Panama City, but it feels much warmer than that outside, and that's all thanks to those high dew points. So overnight tonight, 30% chance of a shower or thunderstorm, 73 to 70, basically where we were last night. The wind staying out of the southeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. For the day tomorrow, southeast 10 to 20, 70% chance of rain. I think showers and thunderstorms will be likely through the day. 83 to 86 for those daytime highs, depending on cloud cover and when you actually see the rain showers and thunderstorms move in. So frontal boundary starts to slide off to the east, and we're going to start pulling that moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. And notice all the shower and thunderstorm coverage. I think that extends back into our area as we go through the day tomorrow. That fades into the overnight hours, and then once again reinvigorated by the heating of the day and that frontal boundary slowly working on through. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, we should be seeing this clear on out and exiting the region, but that upper level trough is going to hang out right there. That gives us dry air and even some relatively cool air for this time of year. Our overnight lows will benefit from that. Our daytime highs, however, still going to be climbing up there as we work into next week. Shipwreck Island UV index back up to 8 for tomorrow. So if you are out and about and you're dodging the showers and storms, you find yourself in a pocket of sunshine, make sure you do have the sunscreen with you because you'll need it. Coastal week ahead here, 70% chance of rain for your Wednesday, 80 on Thursday. Frontal boundary clears us Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday looking very nice. 84, 85, lower dew points, overnight lows even in our coastal areas hitting the 60s. And we'll see those temperatures start to climb back up as we go to Memorial Day on Monday. And we'll see our rain chances creep back in as we get into next Monday and Tuesday. So looking good still for our holiday weekend. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy about that, as well as the rain chances that, yes, we do still need some rain. So the rain chances we'll have the next couple of days, I think, will also keep people happy.
Well, thanks for getting the rain out of the way for the holiday weekend.
Yeah,
I'll pat myself on the back for that.
Everybody's counting on that. Well, you'll have to do it where we can see you because we can't see you in here.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
You just wave from a distance.
Yeah, you're all the way up the hallway, which isn't that far, but for the folks who may not have been with us yesterday, we're broadcasting from our actual newsroom or offices because the studio is being rebuilt. And Ross has so much equipment, or he's so important, he got his own
He
space.
got his own room. You know, they put him down the hall. In his own
I don't
room.
know about being important. I think it's the equipment, but it's solitary confinement in here. I'm in a room by myself.
Come out during
tell
the
you what,
breaks.
we walked in there a little while ago and looked at the studio. It is now completely vacant,
Yeah.
except for some lights in the ceiling that they're going to be taken down. And it's amazing. Maybe later next week we'll show you what the studio looks like now, because there's nothing in there right now. It's bizarre. Anyway, thank you, Ross. We appreciate it.